We're going to put a few pieces together. And you got to follow it. NASDAQ, ancillary. It's important when you're valuing price. That's what you're doing when you're trading to look at other markets, compare, contrast. The NASDAQ jumps up right here and then comes right back down. Let me show you that more real time. So look at the upper right of the screen share. Bam, it jumps up. What does the ES do? The ES jumps up, but it doesn't go through these highs. The NASDAQ went through these highs, but the ES doesn't go through these highs. So it just shows it's a scratch the head moment as to how bullish this might be. Now, if the NASDAQ comes off and back into this box, that's temporarily bearish, and it does. So you don't have to be bearish way over here after it breaks another 10 points. You could scratch your head to be bearish right up in here because it tries to jump, come back. That's a head fake. ES couldn't make a higher high. That's a divergence. You got this price that it's bearish below because of these shorts that come in. And then we get a bunch of longs that come out right here. So you've got a lot of things cooking, not a lot of longs, but some. And then you really get them to pop more when that short went away. When that short went away on the 2 minute, you see the amount of longs as this rescaled. And then we had some downside. And then when this happens, big seller, you gotta be careful for continuation of the downside because it gets laughed at. A lot of things work in here, but you have to put yourself in a position to keep your eyes and head on a swivel. It's not as hard as it is at first, because when you're learning something, you got to think about it. But when you understand it, you're not thinking anymore. But anything that's new seems uncomfortable. Don't give up and because it's uncomfortable. I mean, what kind of challenge adverse person would you be if you give up on everything that's uncomfortable? Here's the great moment of bullish above this particular short, and then our laser goes down one last chance. Our laser stays red, but you had a moment of it had a box, top of the box right here in the ES and the NASDAQ. So take a look at this. My this bar is shown, Zoom bar is cluttering it, but let me show it right here. You had the top of this box that was in here, and this is kind of a chop and a box in there, and they both jumped through it at about the same time. Let me replay and let me show you that. They both jumped through it at the same time. Let's back it up. Go up a little bit so you could see. They both jumped through the box at the same time. They both jumped through the box at the same time. And so there was some upside. So even though market on this particular session got weak, stayed weak, there's a lot of vicious bounces that could happen where you can't just get short, fold your arms and take a nap. You got to keep your eye on the enemy, and you got to keep your mind on never going broke, taking profits, being good at scaling, being good at not having your eyes bigger than your stomach, looking for 30, 40-point winners when you shouldn't, or when you're not in a great location, and understand the definition of a great location. There are so many things that people don't know, and they risk their money, and it would never, ever happen if it was my money. Like if I funded someone's account, let's say I funded, let me put it this way. If there is, let's use Ninja Trader, because they have a lot of smaller account people that trade on it. Not that everybody who uses Ninja is a small account, but there's a lot of smaller accounts on Ninja Trader and maybe even Sierra. But let's say everybody on Ninja Trader is being funded by me. Guarantee you 99% wouldn't be allowed to trade until they could do and understand a couple things through what I tested them on. They'd have to answer some questions. I wouldn't care. Let me see how you're doing and your performance and winners, losers. No. I don't want to see any of that. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I guarantee 99% of the people would have to go to the drawing board to understand how price moves. If you don't know why price moves, you're not going to be able to predict price moving. And too many people are trading and risking their own capital without the proper understanding and the foundation to give themselves a chance. And then they complain and get mad because it's as hard. Well, you're making it harder. Number one. Number two, you're probably trading bigger than you should. If you haven't made any money in the mini, you shouldn't be trading the mini with the option of the micro. But also remember, You wouldn't be a brain surgeon just by a bunch of free YouTube videos and buying some books, would you? Certainly not a brain surgeon that I'd want operating on me. So you better hope there's someone out there teaching it the right way, like us, or how are you going to learn? You won't. And you're just going to risk money and donate it. Have a safe weekend.